Hey guys, SoCal Val here. You are listening to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast.
Let's do it.
Welcome everybody back to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. I am your host for this one, Adam Cousins, but I am joined by our man that's returned back from America. Amazingly, the Washington Commanders are 2-0. Maybe that's their only 2 wins of the season, but he did go out all the way out there. He did see a win. You come straight back, watch Dunstable play, and then you watch the Dunstable women play on Sunday as well. You are an absolute machine. It's Burrows. He's back. Welcome back, my man.
How are you, bro? Yeah, it's good to be back. My body's just about recovered from the whistle stop tour to America, and then the whistle stop jetting around trying to get back for a game of football to watch the mighty Dunstable Town, and then try and cram in 3 hours of Raw watching it today so we can sit here and review this. But now I've been keeping abreast of what's been going on the last week and a half, mate. You, Parker, Dave, been killing it, mate. It looked like you had a great time at Ignite on Sunday, obviously crowning our first ever Ignite, hitting the turnbuckle champion. Congratulations to Smashing Mike. It was awesome to see. Devastated I couldn't actually be there, but yeah, my daughter in this football, man, she's more obsessed about football than me. So yeah, it's taken up a lot of my time, mate. But no, great to be back, man. I'm looking forward to a week of talking wrestling with you, brother.
Yes, me too. Let's get straight in. Raw kicked off. Cody Rhodes promo interrupted by Dominik Mysterio. Really sort of short match with this. There's a lot of stuff going on with the Judgment Day. There's a Jey Uso, there's Jimmy Uso on SmackDown. They're trying to recruit them both. Match with Cody was a little bit short, but Cody picks up the win quite quickly. There's then a bit with Kevin and Sammy because Judgment Day were going to attack. Kevin and Sammy come out. Kevin took the microphone, was still unhappy that Cody brought Jey to Raw. Obviously, what was your thoughts on that opening segment, and where do you see this all going? It's really sort of interesting on both shows now because Judgment Day are tag champions at the minute, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But there's these new elements that started to kick in now.
Yeah, I think you've really got to pay attention now to both Raw, SmackDown, and even including NXT, which we're getting to later with Becky and stuff and what's going on there. I think they've upped their game the last month or so. They've really maybe realized, look, we need to fucking up. I don't know if that's something to do with the merger, and they've said like, look, we want the product to be a little bit. Obviously, you guys got into it. You and Dave spoke about The Rock coming back, and you know, there's going to be stuff involving him definitely moving forward. You know, some of the stuff that he dropped with Pat McAfee on the college football game day on Saturday. I saw that before I saw on Friday. So I saw that interview before I even knew that it was on Raw. So you text me Saturday morning, you were like, do not go online. Do not pick up your phone. And so I didn't. I was like, oh, fucking hell, that's weird. I straight away, as soon as you said that, I thought, well, this must be something big. So yeah, you've really got to pay attention now. I mean, it is Judgment Day heavy still. I'm not quite sure if they're sure what they're doing with Cody. I think it's all a waiting game. I think everything's building up to Survivor Series slowly. I mean, Roman Reigns hasn't been scheduled to come back until Saudi Arabia. And obviously the whole AJ Styles thing is going to go on SmackDown. And I think that's where they're going to go with that. And again, that's just kind of a little, I feel like we can maybe get into that on Saturday on our SmackDown review show. I feel a little bit sorry for AJ because I think that's just another segue kind of thing to get to where they want to go with Cody and The Rock. But as for Raw, it was a good start. I'm kind of not sure again like what they're doing with Cody. I mean, he seems to be caught in limbo at the minute. We were talking. I don't know. I didn't see all of SmackDown last week. Has anyone been traded from Raw yet to SmackDown? Yeah, so that hasn't happened yet.
No.
So that could still be Cody Rhodes, I'm guessing, and then that will be to what you said a couple of weeks ago. We're getting him in with Roman. But yeah, it was a bit of a slapdash start to Raw. Dominik, literally no offense. It was like an old school WWF Superstars match, wasn't it? You remember when you used to watch that and it used to be like the big, I don't know, say
Earthquake versus Toby Green or something like that.
Toby Green from Walmart or something. You know, he just got off his Walmart shift and he had to come and fight Earthquake. They squashed Dominik. So the Judgment Day seems to be really strong, but they seem to be making Dominik weak. And I get why they do that with his promos. And I don't know if they pumped sound in on Raw, but the boos were ridiculous. I know there's loads of stuff going around Twitter recently about they're pumping, they're turning down his microphone and all that.
It depends who you're listening to. If you're AEW fans, they say it's pumped now. It's WWE fans who saying it's not.
Yeah, it sounds pretty genuine from what I heard on my TV. You can't tell on TV till we're at our next live event that's WWE do, which me and you will go to. I think Wembley Arena is our next one. So if we hear anything then, but it did sound like the crowd sounded pretty much into it. But I'm just not sure what they're doing with Dominik, because everyone else in the Judgment Day is fairly strong, and the whole mummy thing and the with Rhea, I'm not quite sure. But it was a solid start to Raw. I quite enjoyed it, but I just kind of, I don't know, I'm sitting on the fence still with the whole Judgment heavy Monday Night Raw. But it was a good start, mate. I quite enjoyed it.
It was a good start, but I have to admit, and I've got to praise P.E. Williams for this. The next match was Kofi and Ivar.
Ivar, what a match!
My goodness, I mean, this was like, I don't know. I when I first heard it announced, I was like, oh,
Because it's meant to be a Falls Count Anywhere, wasn't it, or something? I can't remember. They were meant to fight the Viking Raiders in a Falls Count Anywhere.
They were looking at that. Yeah, I mean, this was just a standard 1-on-1, and when I first saw it, I was like, oh, and I even just put the kettle on, to be quite honest. When it started, I did, and I come back in, and I think when I come back in, it just come back from a break, so it only just begun. I was like, oh, I missed anything, but I'm so glad I didn't, because this was absolutely brilliant. It really took me by surprise, because I mean, Ivar's really good for his height and you know, he's kind of stature anyway, and Kofi's obviously been there and seen it and done it, but my God, this was like pay-per-view quality match. I think this wouldn't have looked out of place on any pay-per-view, in my opinion.
I thought it was match of the night, and some of the high-flying moves either for a big dude. Somersault they did off the top rope, and it was all. It was what was good about it was near full pin, and the crowd were really into it. What helped is when the crowd are really, really into it, which they were.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. It just proves again what me and you have been saying for weeks and months now. They're dabbling in seeing how these tag teams now transcend into single competition, because that seems to be the way they're going, and it's not good for me and you because we know how much we love tag team wrestling. But I think the Viking Raiders is going to be, I thought they were going into something with Riddle. They've obviously now had to spin 180 because of all the stuff that's happened behind the scenes with Riddle and why he's now, so they've kind of had to flip it now, because that's where they were going Drew and Riddle, McRiddle, whatever they were called, versus the Viking Raiders versus the New Day. Obviously Riddle's now, we all know what's gone on behind the scenes and why he's not on TV, and you know, he's got himself in a lot of trouble again. And there was rumors that he was meant to be back on Raw this week.
Yeah, he was meant to be.
Clearly not. So we all know what's good. We're not going to get into that too much. We all know what he's done behind the scenes. He's a bit of an idiot. So they've now, WWE have gone, right, we need to kind of segue this a little bit. And I was, mate, like you said, if you put that on the last, what was it, Payback, the last pay-per-view, if that was on there, I'm not going to be disappointed. I thought it was an incredible match. It's going to be interesting to see what they do now, because like I've just said, they've got to fiddle it a little bit, because Riddle's fucking put a spanner in the works, or a doobie in the works, whatever he's done.
Yeah, it's probably the second one more than the
first. But yeah, no, it was brilliant, mate. It's probably match of the night for me. I really enjoyed it.
If I was being uber critical of it, I would say that I wouldn't have had Ivar do that moonsault unless Kofi wasn't kicking out of it. Because he'd already done two big splashes on him, so he'd already hit two big off the sort of middle rope splashes on him, and I expected him to miss because he was taking a bit of time to do it. When he hit it, I thought, "Oh, this is it, game over."
Yeah. What did they get really by Kofi winning as well? I mean, it was a bit of a shit. That's the only thing. The ending was a bit crap. I mean, Kofi barely hit his finisher.
Yeah, and
it was the one you're like, really going to put this big man down with this move? It's one of the worst finishes in wrestling, in my opinion. It's just like an insecurity, really.
It is. It's just an inverted insecurity, really, isn't it?
Really. And it's now a finisher. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they do. I think they advertised the Viking Raiders for next week on Raw. Something with the New Day, so it's gonna be interesting. But unfortunately, Riddle's just completely spanner in the works, and they've had to go on 180 with what they were probably leading up to, maybe Saudi Arabia or Survivor Series. They've had to completely change it.
Or
what's the next one? Isn't it Saudi Arabia's the next pay-per-view, right? Is it not? What's next?
Fastlane.
Fastlane. What's that? 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and then Saudi Arabia. Yeah, because Roman's scheduled for Saudi Arabia. That's why. So you got Fastlane in 2 weeks, so it's going to be, this could be another payback moment where we sit here and go, oh God, I don't know how this is. Someone's at my front door. It might be Riddle coming around for a doobie. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, because Fastlane could be, this could be another, when me and you were like, I'm not sure about payback.
Yeah,
Fastlane's kind of looking like that. No, there's nothing, and it's in 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks Saturday,
2 or 3 weeks Saturday. Yeah, one of the two.
Yeah, so yeah, let's see what happens, mate. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think that was the best match on Raw.
It was. They done a little bit where they showed you Nia Jax's return. They went to the back and had a bit of a chat with Nakamura. Rollins wasn't cleared again to compete with his back, so they're playing onto that. It led into Nakamura and Ricochet. Rollins made an appearance in this twice at the start. and near the end. This was, I think, a run-of-the-mill match for me. I never expected Nakamura to lose it. The only thing I was a bit... Because what happened was, obviously, at the end, that Nakamura went to hit Ricochet with a chair. He didn't. Ricochet then hit Nakamura with a chair and got DQ'd. The only thing that was really weird for me about that was the look of shock on Ricochet's face when he got...
because he was like, he was going to hit me with a chair.
Well, he didn't hit you, and you've been a wrestler long enough to know that you don't hit someone in front of the referee.
And the fact that Michael Cole tried to sell it as well. He's like, well, Nakamura was going to hit him with a chair. It's like, is this your first day in wrestling? It was kind of like, I mean, I don't know really. I think Ricochet's just like the cannon fodder for Nakamura. The best bit of that match is when he got the big face at the end for Seth and he started doing
that was brilliant.
That was brilliant.
To touch on that, and a bit later on, Seth, but we might as well talk about it now. Seth cut a backstage promo and he basically said, anytime you name it, anytime any place anywhere, you can name it, you can name the stipulation. Where are they going with this?
I'm guessing Fastlane.
Yeah.
I'm guessing no DQ. I'm guessing, and if they've got any sense, they'll put the title on Nakamura because I think he's brilliant.
That was what I was going to say.
If they've got any sense.
Is it, because we mentioned this about LA Knight recently, because obviously this is the best version of Nakamura. This has been a fantastic way.
Nakamura, amazing.
And we kind of sort of talked if it was too late, but is it now? If you don't do it now, he's never winning the world title in WWE.
Yeah, it's what me and you said, 2 weeks ago on our SmackDown review, just before I jetted off. We said the same about LA Knight. Yeah, it's the same with Nakamura. You've got to capitalize on this now because I think it'll be good. And you don't have to put it on him for long. The Saudi Arabia pay-per-views always wanted a title change. Then why don't you put it on Nakamura at Fastlane and have him drop it to Seth in Saudi? Everyone's happy then. The Saudi fans are happy. They think they've seen a legitimate title change, but we all know it's just been, Nakamura's held it for 2 to 3 weeks. Or then he might have them 2 to 3 weeks to convince WWE, hey, look, I'm a good heel champion. But you could have him Seth drop at Fastlane, regain it in Saudi Arabia. Everyone's happy. And then we're off and running to Survivor Series.
Yeah, I'm going to go for, I think they might do Last Man Standing, I think, just because Seth's back.
Because of the back. Yeah, good shout, actually, mate. Good shout.
Maybe, but no DQ.
Count anywhere, no DQ.
Anywhere. Yeah, it works.
Yeah, it was the only problem I didn't like about Raw. There was too many DQ matches. I didn't really. That's for me. That's lazy booking. Just end it with a DQ. We'll have Nia Jax run down, or we'll have Ricochet hit someone with a chair, or we'll have the Judgment Day get involved. To me, that's just lazy booking.
You mentioned the aforementioned Nia Jax, and she's prevalent in the next match, which was a tag team, the Chelsea Green and Piper Niven versus Shayna Baszler and Zoey Stark. And as you mentioned, the match was just getting warmed up, as they say. Nia Jax absolutely obliterates. And I'm going to ask you 2 questions about this. What did you make of Nia Jax coming in? And secondly, because me and Dave have spoken about it on the last 2 review shows, and I want to get your view on it, Jade Cargill in WWE.
Nia Jax first. Love it. She should be a badass. Just having her do all this comedy stuff in her first run, and we all know about she injured people and all these idiots now going on social media. Oh, she's back after Roster getting injured. She's probably learned from her mistakes. I really hope she deserves a chance. If you're going to have someone of that, I don't mean this horribly, but someone of that size, and you look at all the male, female athletes over the look at what's her name, Con in TNA. What's her name? Con. Yeah, she was an absolute ass kicking machine. Nia is going to be that now for WWE, I think, and it's only fair. I think Rhea Ripley's run has been terrible as a champion. If they've got any sense, they'll try it with Nia, a second chance saloon sort of thing. So Nia, yes, really looking forward to it. Cargill, I think it's going to be interesting. I think WWE, like you said to me with a few superstars when they've come across or they've gone to AW, it's kind of them getting their superstar and then going, we'll actually show you how to book this person. I mean, I saw Cargill on Collision or Rampage. What was it last
Rampage
week?
Was the
Rampage. I saw her. It looked like their version of the curtain call.
Yeah.
If you saw the stuff on social media. I think it's WWE. They're going to maybe put her in there with Bianca if they've got any sense. That's the rumor heading into Survivor. I think if they've got any sense, they'll hold Cargill back to the Rumble.
That's what Dave said. That's exactly what Dave said.
Yep, I think they'll hold her back to the Rumble, and then you could have Jade Cargill. Imagine that Cargill and CM Punk on the same night. 2 AEW Survivor Series is in Chicago. I get that. And Punk said he done. Did you see the UFC interview at the weekend?
Yeah,
I'm not
he
busy
said
for. I'm not busy for 2 months.
for a couple of months. You know, Punk's very good at that.
He's clever.
Very good at that.
He might be wanting to get himself in WWE more than WWE want him. But as for Cargill, I think it'll be good. I think, let's not beat around the bush here. WWE are the big leagues, and it'll be interesting to see what she can do in the big leagues, because she kind of petered out in AEW, really, didn't she? I mean, me and you, we slagged her matches off loads of times. I was like, has she really done anything here? So you think it'll be, what did we say weeks ago? The women's division need reinventing in WWE. So you've now got Nia, you've got Cargill coming in, you've still got Charlotte to come back. They've done the whole thing with Becky Lynch and NXT. So it's slowly building up. But this is the time of year they always do this. They know that Survivor Series is around the corner, which leads to the Rumble, which leads to Mania, and boom, we're away.
That arc again, isn't it? That you keep.
Yeah, we always say about it, and it is that time now, mate. They'll know, and like I say all the time, they'll know now the main event of WrestleMania. They'll know it right now. They need to know how we're going to get there. Do things like the Rock's interview last week, and he said they were close last year to doing Roman
storyline, wasn't it? They just
storyline. They couldn't figure out how to do it, and I've seen loads of interviews. I don't know if you heard Busted Open yesterday. Yeah, Dave LaGreca pissed all over it, and he was like, "Well, I've lost a lot of respect for The Rock because he was going to take a legitimate space off Cody last year, and he wasn't going to win. It was good. I think that's where they couldn't do it. So I think for the women and Cargill and everything, I think it's going to be interesting. I just hope they debut her the right way, and I think I'm with Dave. I think the Rumble would be perfect.
Because apparently there's no NXT run for Cargill. She's going to be jumped.
Nah, you can't do that. You imagine bringing her in and putting her in NXT. You might as well leave her on Rampage.
Yeah, exactly.
Same standard, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And also, she had then potentially has 4 months where she's being trained by the likes of Michaels, and you've got the
William Regal.
Yeah, obviously she knew William Regal, but she may even be able to have CM Punk. Who knows the situation with Punk or someone else? At that point may come down, and not necessarily Punk will be the performance center, but he was quite thingy with her in AEW. So if he does make that return back.
It's going to be interesting. You got your boy Edge maybe going to AEW. He's been I thought of you yesterday when people were tweeting about him being taken off everything on WWE website. He can't buy his merch.
Could be.
And I was like, ooh.
I think he may well end up over there, but it will be. They can't do anything until the end of September, unless something has happened in the meantime.
Is that when's Full Gear? Is that the next one? That's September, isn't it?
The Wrestle Dreams, the next one.
Wrestle Dreams. Is there their actual quote unquote pay-per-view?
It is.
Is it? And then the Full Gear.
It's Danielson. Yeah, it's Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr. and FTR Aussie Open so far at that pay-per-view. But anyway, I was just going to leave before we move on to the next thing. I was going to say, imagine this at WrestleMania. You've got Rock, Reigns, Punk, Austin, and then maybe a Cargill and Charlotte, or a Cargill and Belair.
I mean, a lot of people are saying that why could you not have Cody, Reigns, and Rock all in the freeway for the title? We all know Rock ain't going over, so we all know potentially he's there to help build this match, and maybe he could be. I reckon. My personal opinion is that something will happen at the Elimination Chamber. If Rock beats someone, then Cody, he'll be fighting for Cody, or something will happen that there's going to be a stipulation. It's not just going to be a straight. Roman's not dropping the title before Mania, in my opinion. No chance. So it's either going to be Cody, Rock, and Roman in a three-way for the title. So we all know Rock ain't going over. We know he's going to be there to elevate.
Or to take the pin.
Or he'll take the pin and Cody wins the title. And that's where this is what I was going to get onto. That's how they get to Rock versus Roman one-on-one, because Rock's just cost Roman the title at WrestleMania, and Cody goes off and has a storyline with another. And we'll call it Backlash for argument's sake, which I'm hoping is, because there's rumors it's going to be in London. We could have Roman Reigns versus The Rock main event in Backlash at the O2 in London.
Or they could just simply do night 1 and night 2 and have a potentially. I don't mean sorry about
I've only been back half hour.
Or your dream and the fact of having Rock being in the same arena as The Rock. They could do. I mean, that's perfectly feasible. They could do a night 1 and night 2. I mean, we've still got another bit of WrestleMania. You've still got Cena that hasn't got a match yet. He's going to be there, obviously. So it's
it's going to be. He's on SmackDown. He's scheduled again this week. He is. I mean, it's going to be interesting what they're going to do leading into Fastlane, and then he'll 100% down to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Could he potentially have a match with Roman Reigns at Saudi Arabia?
I think it's either going to be AJ against Reigns or AJ and Cena against Reigns and Solo.
I hope they don't do another tag.
The talk at the moment at the Royal Rumble is Cena against Solo. in the Royal Rumble. Apparently, that's only been taught. I mean, it's not confirmed by any stretch of the imagination.
There's rumours that it's someone's birthday as well, though, and then we're going. We need to go on that, don't we?
I need to see if I'm allowed to fly.
Are you allowed to fly yet? Are you allowed to even leave your house yet? That's what I'm worried about. I know you're doing 55 podcasts a day, so I'm just worried if you're allowed to leave your house yet.
I am allowed, and I did drive to Ignite.
Okay.
Week, so I'm okay for that.
I had visions of you. You know that? Remember the program Game On, where the guy never left his house? I've got visions of that being you soon.
It feels like me more so just because of not being able to work more than anything else. But it is, I'll have to check on the distance of flying because I can only drive certain distances at the minute. I don't know.
Yeah, 9-hour flight to Florida, mate.
I'll have to see. But anyway, we'll move on. I will look at that, but I will move on. We're talking Mr. Gable now.
I've got some strong views on this.
Again, big Bronson Reed coming up next. Now, Chad Gable wants another shot at the Intercontinental title. Bronson Reed basically come out. We're saying you can't suplex me, and he didn't actually. And quite surprisingly, Bronson Reed wins with the Tsunami. Not exactly Chad Gable getting his rematch with the Intercontinental title. Bronson Reed hadn't been seen in a while. So surprising thing about that was Bronson going over in a way. He does have Otis next week on Monday Night Raw. But yeah, I was confused probably as you are on this.
I'm probably I think me and you are very much alike in these views of how the wrestling is booked and what's done. What was the point of pushing Chad Gable the last 2 to 3 weeks and making him look super strong? And then you get to last night on Raw. And don't get me wrong, Bronson Reed's good, and it's good that they're going to push him, but you don't push him against Chad Gable. Unless something's planned for next week or Fastlane or something like that. You've literally shit all over what you've done for the last 3 weeks with Gunther, and you've gone, yeah, we're not actually sure now, mate. You're kind of going back down the pecking order.
Yeah,
have him win that match by suplexing him.
Yeah.
Have him do the Brock Lesnar, the suplex that we know him for. Have him win by doing that, and then you're off to the races again for Fastlane, and you give him a shot again at the IC title. Well, the only problem is you can't keep giving him all these shots. He's got to go over eventually. Gunther's not dropping to Chad Gable. As much as I think it would be okay, and I would be fine with it, but the world of wrestling and the wrestling fans, they're going to say, "Oh, it's going to be frowned upon." Gunther losing, dropping after all his longest reigning IC title, and he's dropping it to Chad Gable. That would be frowned upon by a lot of people. I'd be fine with it because I think Chad Gable is that damn good, to quote a phrase. But yeah, I didn't get the whole. They flogged him down the river, I thought, on Raw, because it was like, you've built him the last 3 weeks, and kind of like, I'm sure what you're going to say. Now you've kind of just, I don't know. Again, you put him in limbo again. What are they going to do now?
I don't know. I think he will get to Gunther again, and I still think he's going to win the Intercontinental title somehow. I don't know how.
Chad.
Yeah, I still think they're going to do it. I still think they will do it. I like Bronson Reed as well. I'm a big fan of Bronson Reed. Don't get me wrong, but it was just like, why? There was literally no need. They could. I know you wasn't a fan of DQ. They could have literally done a DQ or a count out or something.
They could have done something. A running. Why didn't we have anyone from Imperium or Gunther run in and do something?
Because recently you've had Kaiser trying to get with Dupree. Why didn't they continue that? That seems to have died of death. Why didn't you continue doing that and have something reasoning why he lost, rather than just get hit with a tsunami and lose? It's just, as you say, it's
he lost clean.
Yeah, clean defeat when you've got someone that's potentially going to be dethrone Gunther. Maybe not. Maybe you're right. Maybe they have decided they're not going to do it.
Here's the thing: are you going to wait to do all these we're calling dethronings? Sounds weird. At Mania, surely something's got. You can't. You've got. So you think Survivor Series? We're going to speculate and be internet booking here that CM Punk's maybe going to be at Survivor Series. So something's going to happen there. Potentially. We don't know. It's just maybe Punk being Punk. So you've got, do you drop a big title then? I see Roman's going to be in a team kind of thing. It's going to be the Bloodline versus whoever. So that's that out the window.
Bloodline be judged.
So you then go to the Rumble. Is he going to drop it at the Rumble? Could do. You don't usually get many title changes at the Rumble. You've had the odd one, Rock beat Punk a few years back. And so then you go to Elimination Chamber, which is the one before the Rumble.
Yeah.
Does he drop it then? And you're like, so surely they're not waiting to drop everything at night 1 or 2 of WrestleMania. Surely not.
No, Gunther will drop first, because I think Gunther's going to win the world title at Mania, or for whoever
the one that Seth's got now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
I
with
think
you
that's
on
what I still think the Royal Rumble was going to be again out of him and Cody at the end, and he throws Cody out. Or someone comes in, like you say, like The Rock will get Cody. Someone will happen with Cody, and he will.
What about The Rock wins the Rumble?
That is potentially possible. Again, he could be him and Cody at the end, and that's that's how you do it.
Rock comes out number 30, wins the Rumble.
Quite feasible. Could do the same with Punk.
Cody's then got to win Elimination Chamber to get in to the main event of Mania. There's so many things that
many things and bits and pieces. And Cody there. See, what they could do if they're smart is if they're going down the route of doing a triple threat. Rock wins the Rumble, Cody wins Elimination Chamber, and you assume that he's going off the Raw, and he says, "Oh no, I'm the collateral damage from the Jey Uso thing. I'm going to SmackDown."
And one thing we forgot about this: Senior Money in the Bank.
And we haven't, yes, Damian Priest, which is where I think the cash-in happens at the next pay-per-view.
Fastlane.
Yep, because if they're doing a gimmick match,
is the contract in there?
Yes, it is. They swapped the contract. They show now that was one piece of thing they did do good with WWE. When they
I saw that going around the internet when I was away. I was like, oh come on, people, please.
They swapped the contract. They put it out of the green one into the purple one, and I did like that because it was a bit of a smart ass fans that you just literally said, "Oh, there's no contract."
Dude, I listened to. I don't know how I found it. I was on the plane board and I had free Wi-Fi, and I found a podcast. I don't know what it was. I just googled wrestling podcast, and this guy done a whole show of it's not in there. They've done Priest over. I'm thinking, dude, you're not this stupid. But yeah, you have to factor in Damian Priest into this. But if you're Fastlane. Yeah, it could do.
It could be one of the things that you were saying about, they win the title and they drop it quite quickly. I'm not saying Priest deserves a smaller reign. He does deserve a decent reign, but we've got to factor him in at the moment because he's still got the purple briefcase.
Or is it a failed cash in and something happens with a Judgment Day?
Again, that's maybe JD McDonough cost him it or something like that. I don't know.
He wasn't on Raw this week, was he, JD McDonough?
No.
They kind of forgot about him again this week. I know,
again, for another week, and he'll be back on it next week. And then
the only problem at the minute there, whoever's writing this shit needs to have a good memory.
Well, the writer's strike might be coming to an end. They have a talks tomorrow too. Otherwise, the Raw rating's going to be absolutely crap because the rest of the football season will be on ABC or something like that, or wherever it is.
I saw something yesterday. Now this merge has happened. The powers that be that whatever the UFC and whatever that company's called.
TKO.
That's them. Glad you're here. They want to negotiate new TV deals.
Mm-hmm.
But I heard something today that the UFC are more heading towards the online streaming thing.
Yeah.
So have WWE shot themselves in the foot by not having their network in America anymore? Because you imagine like a Raw.
Yeah.
Imagine you had to have a paid subscription to watch Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. SmackDown, that deal I think is still running for a while. But if you had to pay
about a year left, it's
but Raw could easily be on a paid subscription.
Yeah, they could.
Wrestling's version of Netflix, but they fucked it off for Peacock.
Yeah, they could. I mean, I think I heard that Amazon was interested.
Really?
Yeah, Amazon, Disney. I mean, Disney's always been interested, but there still is. Amazon is interested.
That's some serious money there if you get them two involved.
Yeah, exactly that, and that's with WWE. They go to
and especially now the UFC, they're probably thinking cha-ching.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly.
Serious money.
Serious dough. So we'll see what happens with that as as the negotiations continue. It's definitely SmackDown up first anyway with negotiations. Fox are nowhere near what WWE want, so they're probably going to be out.
I've heard loads. I mean, there's no smoke without fire, but I think that's probably why the writer's strike helped. But if you think that's why The Rock was there last week.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely. Any chance you get of The Rock being there is
what did you make of all the people saying, "Oh, you misused him"? Dave LaGreca again got into it, saying, "I wouldn't have booked him that way with Austin Theory."
So here's the thing with it, and I did say this on a SmackDown review.
I know, yeah, I heard you guys getting into it a little bit.
It was the case of I think more bad for Theory than anyone else because he still hasn't got over Cena decapitating him before WrestleMania, and then The Rock, and you just know. The problem was there was nobody else that could do it because Grayson Waller had John Cena later on the show. So it was a case of who could he really do it to? And there's really nobody else. TV? Miz had LA Knight. So it was one of them was where he was already kind of...
All it was just an excuse to get The Rock on the TV, and now he's prominent because they're going to go with what we think they're going to go with.
Yeah,
you couldn't just have him rock up and rock bottom Roman Reigns.
You couldn't do that. No, but 103 million views since. I wish we could have those.
What? You mean we haven't? I've only been gone a week. What have you done?
I know, crazy, isn't it? It's you, man. Your ratings.
You and Dave.
I will never forget my son. I would have to quickly end this with The Rock quickly before we move on to Becky Lynch. my son was watching it. I'd already seen it, obviously, and I said, "I'll eat your lunch and I'll just watch the start of SmackDown." I knew, and I remember he when the Rock's music hit, he was like, and then he saw it on the Titantron, and he was like, "What the?" And he went, if he comes out, and I was like, 3, 2, 1, and then he was probably going like the Burrows house,
a bit like me, yeah,
the Burrows. I said to Dave, I think that you was the face of that meme, the South Park meme. You know the
that was
meme,
me.
right?
That was me. Like, yeah. I use that meme way too much.
Indeed. Let's move on quickly to Becky Lynch open challenge. It was actually now this was changed. So this was a Vince McMahon change of the booking. Becky Lynch wanted to face Tegan Nox.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all going to go that way. However, it changed because they wanted to reward Natalya for going twice in India, because Becky couldn't get to India because she had a small tear in her passport and they wouldn't let her board the plane. So that Natalya got the match instead of Tegan Nox, which, well, whatever. It was what it was. You knew on a million times. This is when I said to Dave, and what me and Dave were saying on these reviews recently, is we're getting sick of these title matches where you know they're not going to win.
Mm-hmm.
So have world title eliminators. FTR had 2 matches on Collision against nobodies. And well, not nobodies, they're up and coming stars, but you know that they're not going to win. And you also knew they weren't going to win when Aussie Open had already challenged them for Wrestle Dream before the match.
Yeah.
And it was just like, you knew that it wasn't going to, Natalya was never going to win this, unfortunately, because she is a great worker. But anyway, that was the part of the story. It was meant to be Tegan Nox. It got moved to Natalya. Becky Lynch wins, which was kind of obvious, but the rating that she pulled in for NXT last week was just about 8,000 shorter than Dynamite.
Wow.
So she's a needle mover, without a doubt. Anyway, what was your thoughts on that match? Anyway,
we kind of all know what I think of Nia. She's a great worker, but yeah, I was a bit like you, mate. As soon as I saw she come out and probably cut one of them really another bad.
Was it Ginger Witch or something?
Ginger Witch, yeah. So Natty, yeah. I mean,
you're not a fan. I know you're not a fan.
I'm not, mate. I love her to death, and she's done so great for the business, but. Really, what's she really done in her career? Let's be honest. Let's really put her. Is she up there with Trish and Lita and Becky now and Charlotte and all them other and Ivory? Is she? Don't get me wrong. She's a good wrestler. She comes out of the Heart Dungeon. If it purely come down to wrestling, as in we're not writing anything on a bit of paper who wins and who loses, then then Natty probably kicks everyone's up.
Yeah.
But she had the best career there. I mean, come on, has she really been that good? 15 years of doing what? Name me 4 big natty matches in her 15-year career. Then you've gone, and like now you can go to me, Andy, do you remember when they had that at Hell in a Cell or that at WrestleMania? She's been in Battle Royals at WrestleMania. She's been in all these gimmicks. She's good, but let's call a spade here. She's not that good.
Is it feasible that Jade Cargill answers one of these challenges?
Now, that if they do what they done with Paige when she originally come in,
do you remember? Yeah.
Have her come in and the thing is, would you want to win in the NXT title?
Yeah,
like we said earlier.
Yeah, that's the other.
Or do you have her come in? Do you have Nia take the title eventually, and that of Rhea, and then Cargill debuts as an open challenge on. We'll say Survivor Series for argument's sake. In Chicago, debuts, wins the title, boom. Then you're off to the Rumble.
Yeah,
that would be amazing, and it'll be good because there'll be no bit. Just get her straight in. Bosh, we're off to the ground running. We're on the road to WrestleMania. We're on the road to the Royal Rumble. And having CM Punk debut on the same night.
Dude, why not? Throw it in.
Could be incredible.
Could be. It could be. Champa was next against. Vinci, he submits him with a Sicilian slice, and he's got Gunther in his mind. Now, bearing in mind, we were expecting Gargano to come back and then be DIY. And
he's still in catering?
Yep.
Okay, just wondered.
Still in catering
for a week. Just wasn't
sure. With his wife and Indy Hartwell, still in catering. And Odyssey Jones, who's disappeared into the Odyssey since being drafted to Raw. Yeah, I mean, this was run-of-the-mill stuff. Ciampa and Gunther, I'm not sure. I'm really it's not a match it's not like a Gable and Gunther where you go, yeah, I'll watch this. Ciampa's a great.
Yeah, I'm not interested, bro. I'm not.
Really not.
Champa, I'm not gonna lie. What did I do when the Champa match was on? I think I done a U-Mail. I think I went and made a cup of tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I come back and I was like, oh, it's finished. I got my notebook out on my iPhone and write my notes. What did I put for this match? Champa wins. Oh, yeah, here we go. You're not even going to see it. Champa wins, but who really cares? That was in my notes for this match.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, well, I mean, Gunther wasn't even there. Was he there? Was it? I don't remember.
No, he was backstage. Well, backstage, not backstage. He was there when he looking at the monitor.
Yes, that was.
But he probably wasn't there. It's probably pre-recorded last week, and yeah, he probably wasn't there. But yeah, I hope they don't do that at Fastlane, Gunther versus Ciampa. But it looks like this. I'm hoping it's on a Raw. Like you say, we've got 2 weeks before Fastlane.
Yeah,
I'm hoping we get back to Chad and Gunther by Fastlane, and Ciampa can have his match next week on Raw and get squashed, and then hopefully they do something with Gargano. And again, there's a lot of wrestlers at the minute in limbo. I'm not sure they're good. They're good wrestlers. Don't get me wrong, they're good. But they're not really doing much. And if you think of all the fucking TV that they could be on, NXT, SmackDown, Raw, you know, there's all the TV shows that they could be on, then use them better. But like you just said, Becky Lynch has gone back down to NXT for a reason, and the ratings nearly beat Dynamite. I mean, I'm really enjoying in NXT at the minute.
Yeah,
I had to watch a couple of weeks worth when I got back because I was a bit behind. But the Becky one, it was a great match. The ending was quality with the moonsault off the top rope, and then the stumble, and then the bam, and then the finisher. Really good. NXT's really good right now. I enjoyed NXT last week more than I did Dynamite. I thought Dynamite was awful.
NXT was good last week. That match, there was a couple of others as well. It's getting back to how it used to be, which is where it should be.
I think WWE have realized now that they tried to take it mainstream. They tried to take it like, obviously, you know, it was on Wednesday and it went up against Dynamite, all that crap. Now they're like, let's get back to what got us to the dance. And I think wrestling fans aren't stupid. They like what they like. Just keep feeding it to them. They don't get me wrong. We like the odd surprise here and there. Friday with The Rock, and we like all that. But that's why we all watch wrestling, for the big pops, the 10 million views. Get back to what made NXT. It was something different. You're like, oh, I'm watching NXT this week. It's something different from Raw and SmackDown, and now it's something different from Dynamite, Rampage, Collision.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not fucking hard. Jesus, me was sitting in my garden dipping to that, but NXT's slowly getting back to where it should be, and I'm really enjoying NXT right now. But as far as Ciampa goes, mate, he'll probably win the Andre the Giant Battle Royal or something at WrestleMania. I don't know.
They still do. They do SmackDown now, don't they?
They've done it the night before. They've done it on the night of the
SmackDown
Hall of Fame, wasn't it? The Hall of Fame night.
They do. Yeah, they do SmackDown in the Hall of Fame, and it's normally a part.
I hope they don't do that this year. I hope the Hall of Fame gets its own thing. I hope they don't do it on SmackDown.
I don't know. We'll say. I hope Paul Heyman goes.
Did you go to the Hall of when you went Mania? Was that a thing? Yeah, you went, didn't you? Yeah.
There was one year that I couldn't.
Who got inducted when you? Who was the main?
I had Austin once.
Oh, awesome.
Edge.
I bet you were the South Park meme when Edge got inducted.
Not wrong. Was I there with Sean? Might have been. I can't remember. 21, I didn't go. I didn't, to be honest. I was 21 years old. I more cared about beard than I did go into. 25 was Austin. 26, I'm not sure who. No, 26, I didn't go because we couldn't get tickets. They didn't allow, Ticketmaster didn't allow tickets sales to the UK.
Oh, really?
We was trying to get in there, and we was even talking to the Hart family, Georgia Smith, British Bulldog's daughter, stuff like that. 27 was Edge. 28, I can't remember who it was. Someone's going to have to comment. Actually, I'll Google it just quickly. Hall of Fame, WrestleMania 28. I'll Google it quite quick. I think it was Mil Mascaris, I think, was inducted during that one.
Oh, big name.
It was huge. Mil Mascaris, Ron Simmons, Four Horsemen, Mike Tyson. Oh, Edge. Sorry, Edge was that one. That was Edge in Miami.
There you go.
That was Edge in Miami.
Yes. Oh, there you go. Yeah, so I hope they I hope they go back traditional. I liked it sitting there the night before.
I had Shawn Michaels as well. Sonny and Shawn Michaels.
Sonny what's going on with that? She's back in the nick, isn't she?
She'll be going down for a long time by the sounds of it. But and she also ballooned.
Oh geez, yeah, she's the size. She's the size of. She still would though, but she's the size of a house. It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Let's move
Moving on.
Yeah, next week on Raw, undisputed tag title rematch. Owens and Zayn will defend against Priest and Balor. Sorry, Priest and Balor will defend against Owens and Zayn. Bronson Reed battles Otis. Leads us into the main event. McIntyre Uso left us again with a few more questions and answers. Obviously, Cody's been involved in this as well. Really good match on this. At one point, the Judgment Day go to help. Jey Uso super kicks them. That was his decision. They was told that he had to make a decision. He did. He super kicked them. No more. Walk straight into the Claymore of all kick, and then that's how that match ends. McIntyre wins. Judgment Day start beating him up. McIntyre keeps turning. He's umming and ahhing. Should he go and help? Should he go and help? Cody Rhodes comes out. They clean house, and that's how Raw ends. I think McIntyre, we're starting to see the heel turn. Jey Uso is mega over the crowd with the whole hand thing. Now that just, that's the thing. All the way through. I really enjoyed the main event, but it's also nice because it still leaves you with questions for next week.
Yeah, do you know what? The more I think about Drew going into the Judgment Day, the more I like it.
Drew?
Yeah.
Really?
Put him in the Judgment Day.
Okay.
Put him in there. Turn him absolute badass heel. Put him in a shit ton of leather. Make him one of the meanest motherfuckers that the WWE have ever seen. I think he'd be, you know how we talk about Nakamura earlier?
Yeah.
I think heel Drew McIntyre. Don't put him on his own as a heel. Put him in the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
I think he'll be incredible. I really do think they'd be onto something then. Completely change his character. Get rid of the Claymore, give him a new finisher. They've done it with superstars in the past where they've completely changed them.
Yeah,
they've done it with your boy Edge. They've changed him more times than you can shake a stick at, and it's been fantastic when they've done it.
Yeah,
I seriously think they should put Drew into the Judgment Day, and don't have him on his own as a heel. Have him with someone. Have him as in a faction, and that'll make that faction even. It'll be like, oh, hang on a minute, little twist and turn here. Yeah. And again, if you think leading into Survivor Series in a few months' time, Judgment Day with Drew versus whoever.
Yeah, Bloodline.
We'll say the Bloodline, SmackDown versus Raw kind of thing. It would definitely give more interest to Survivor Series because over recent years it's been Raw versus SmackDown, and they've had blue t-shirts on and red t-shirts, and it's been shit. I really hope they turn. I really hope they don't drop the ball with the heel turn with Drew.
No,
I think it could be really good. I think it could be really, and I think it'll be his best work in WWE.
Yeah, I agree.
The main event was incredible. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the end, and again, it made me think, next week's going to be good.
Yeah, that's the whole point. It's what we say: start it hot, finish it with filming something that it makes you want to watch next week, and it delivers.
Yeah, I'll be there, mate. I'll be watching.
I'll be watching as well. We kind of have to.
We have to. Yeah, we kind of have to, mate.
We kind of have to. But I gave Raw 7.5 this week. I don't know what you.
Yeah, I'm with you, mate. 7.5. Yeah, I'll probably about the same, mate. Yeah, nothing great, nothing terrible. It's just I think we're slowly. You can see what you can see is, and as wrestling fans, if you've watched this long enough, me, you, Dave, Paul, we all have. Fiona, all of us that do this have watched it long enough to know that the slowly, the builds. As you get near the end of the year. Everything knows it's going to get ramped up. So Fastlane will be interesting. Fastlane will leave you with more questions than answers.
Yeah.
Because then that's going to lead into Saudi Arabia, which is when Roman Reigns is back. And the big rumor is that Roman Reigns is going to go one-on-one with AJ Styles at the minute. It's what I heard. But obviously you've mentioned the tag.
I've heard the same. Yeah, I've heard the same.
Again, is that best for AJ? He's just kind of a segue in wrestler. Mm-hmm. But do they then, at the end of the Saudi Arabia show, set something up for the 4.5 weeks build to Survivor Series. Yeah. I think I want to see an old school Survivor Series this year.
They've said that.
Too many years now, Survivor Series has been shit. Yeah. And I want to see an old school Survivor Series match where you really look forward to Survivor Series. It used to be one of my favorite pay-per-views of the year. I used to absolutely love it. The last, 10 years, I'd say, it's been terrible. Yeah. Especially this Raw versus SmackDown crap. Fuck that off. Let's get back. I think WWE is slowly realizing now. Let's get back to the fundamentals of what made us great.
Exactly.
Having people like The Rock and potentially having a CM Punk will help. And for all those saying that they're not sure if Punk should come back to WWE, if they do it right and he plays ball, and he's not going to be squeaky clean play ball. But if they can get him, and mate, look, if Bret Hart can come back to the WWE and hug Shawn Michaels in the middle of a wrestling ring. Yeah. CM Punk can come back and do a job. And could you imagine at Mania, CM Punk headlining and going for the title that Seth's got now?
Could well be.
Could be potentially incredible. And it'll be a big, and WWE and Vince would love this. It'll be a big fuck you to AEW.
It would be.
Then you should have kept him. You should have worked out your differences. You should have not let the elite and everything like run the asylum. And as much as I'm not AEW's biggest fan. I'm not their worst fan, but I think they dropped the ball with CM Punk. They should have maybe all got down. But apparently now I'm reading last week when I was away on the plane. I read a lot of wrestling stuff. 305 is a great thing. That there was a potential meeting that was set up with the elite and Punk, and the elite said no.
Yeah.
So is it all on CM Punk? So I think if he comes back again, it can only be better for wrestling with him inside the tent pissing in and have him and set him out the tent pissing out. Because if he goes rogue eventually and starts talking about everyone, fuck me. Imagine if he wrote a book or something and just went full on radio rental.
Yeah,
it'd be incredible. I'd buy it. But yeah, mate, I think I'm with you, mate. Raw was a good 7.5 out of 10, mate. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that is exactly what I would give it. Just reading some breaking bits. So AJ Styles is currently planning to be Roman Reigns' next challenger. The match is meant to happen at Crown Jewel. This is the match WWE wanted to do for a while, but were unable to put together due to issues between Heyman and the OC.
Oh.
Just going back from when Heyman was basically sacked when they got released. But anyway, that was that. So it does look like that's going to be the case. AJ Roman, 4th of November, Crown Jewel. But this was the Raw review. Andy's back in the UK. So he's now going to be coming on our podcast again. We've got Maven on Thursday, Andy.
Looking forward to that, mate. It's my daughter's birthday. I need to squeak an hour with
Squeak an hour out the door so we can come and talk to Maven about his
I'll be there for that one. Yeah, mate. I'd love to hear his story about Tough Enough.
YouTube. He's had his YouTube 2 months, 100,000 views.
One of the biggest. Yeah, I saw Joe. What's his name? Van Fleet was interviewing. Yeah, he was interviewing Maven. I don't know if you saw the show. Yeah. His YouTube. I'm like, how's he bigger than us already?
I have to ask that question. He's a Washington fan.
Dude, I already liked him. Now I love him.
Yeah.
Commanders fan. Come on. 2-0.
Anyway, we've got
win
Maven.
the Super Bowl.
We've got Maven coming on. We've got podcasts still galore coming up. But for now, anyway, this was the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. He was Andy Burrows. I was Adam Cousins. No gimmicks needed, Dave. Until next time, buckle down, everybody, and stay safe.